Good morning, my friends. Today, I wanted to walk you through a very simple yet important skill for any coffee roaster, which is how to read an offer sheet. Now, what is an offer sheet? Well, I'm glad you asked. An offer sheet is like a menu of coffees that you receive from your suppliers, but it's distinct from a restaurant menu in several key ways, such as pricing and terms, but perhaps most notably, an offer sheet refers to which specific lots of coffee a particular supplier has available, hence the name offer sheet. So in this video, I'm going to guide you through reading an offer sheet generously provided by my friends at Copan Trade, and we will examine together how to read the who, the what, the when, the where, the how, and the how much of coffee offer sheets. All right, let's jump in. So the who of an offer sheet starts with who is supplying the coffee, and that is generally a trade house. So in this case, we have Copan Trade. This is their offer sheet. They are the counterparty for you as the buyer. Now, some traders may offer some kind of direct trade program, so they may actually list out here specific farmers or estates or local companies that are providing coffees as well. Now, the what of the coffee offer sheet is the specific coffee that is available. That starts with the origin or the country where that coffee is grown and produced and often processed, the specific quality of coffee or the type, not only whether it's Arabica or Robusta, but also the specific grade. So here you can see we've got some Brazil strictly soft fine cups, or some 1718 fine cups rather. We have some New York 3s, 4s. We've got Supremos from Colombia. Especially with the specialty side of the business, we may see a cupping score. So that includes, this looks like a CQI specialty cupping score. So in this case, this screen 1718 here has a score of 85. We also have the processing. At least they'll usually show washed and naturals. But they may also have honey processed as well. Here, Copan has washed, naturals, and honeys. So, for example, these Brazils are all naturals here, and these Colombians are, of course, all washed coffees. Then we come to the certification. This is distinct from the ICE exchange certification. This is more of an international, non-governmental certification that ensures that certain environmental or labor practices and sustainability, or all three of those, are adhered to. And the certification guarantees that those standards have been met. These are all non-certified coffees here, but if they had certifications, there would be some indication there. Now, the reference is important because this number here actually shows you which specific lot of coffee you're talking about. An important distinction from the restaurant menu analogy we used earlier. So if you're looking at Colombians here, you can see they actually have three qualities that are all exactly the same quality here in the offer sheet. However, there's different numbers of bags available, and they're even offered at different prices. So if you want to specify and be speaking the same language as your supplier, as you're negotiating and coming up with the payment terms and everything, you can reference the number here to show which specific lot that you are talking about. And that's important, so I'd make sure that you do that when you are negotiating. Now we come to the when. The when is when this coffee will be available or when it arrives. We can, generally speaking, divide this into two broad categories. We have spot coffees that are available right now in store in a warehouse somewhere. And we also have coffees that will be arriving at some future date. Those are forward coffees. Here you can see we have some coffees that arrived back in August and December, and we have other coffees that will arrive in January and February. So this is important for when you're, coming up with your roasting schedules and planning out your roasting in the future. You're going to need to know how to get that coffee available and when it will be available. And if you want the freshest coffee, 6 months from now, you don't want to be locking down coffee that's in the warehouse already. You want to be buying coffee forward. Now the where is the location of these particular coffees. So if you're a US-based roaster, then perhaps that will include the US state. In other parts of North America, that might be a province, or in Europe, it could be different countries or regions of your country. But it also includes the actual warehouse location. So here you can see these are all specific warehouses in Texas that Copan has on offer. Now, the how includes the terms. Now, there's a lot of different commercial terms here. You have cash against documents, you have cost and freight, you have FOB, FOT, ex-warehouse, ex-dock. We're not going to go through all the different types of terms that there are available, but I'd encourage you to look those up and to do some more research on it. But basically, these are how you want the business to be done. So whether you want the supplier to pay for the freight and include that in the total cost, that would be cost and freight, or include insurance, that would be cost, insurance, freight. Whether you are going to be paying the supplier right now, or whether the supplier is providing you with, say, 30 days of financing, those would all be included in the terms here. So here you can see that Copan is, as their standard, saying cash against delivery order, unless you have some other terms that you have negotiated with them. Here we have ex-warehouse, also called ex-works, and that is saying when the transfer of ownership of that coffee takes place. So in an ex-works contract or an ex-warehouse contract, the coffee is the supplier's responsibility until it leaves the warehouse, and then it becomes the buyer's responsibility. So, for example, if they're loading the coffee up on the truck and it hasn't left the warehouse yet, and some of the bags fall on the ground and spill open, that's the seller's responsibility. However, if the truck drives off of the warehouse property and gets into a car accident, it is left the warehouse, so it is the buyer's responsibility. So that's the importance of those ex-dock or ex-works or FOB. Now, the how much is the final part of the menu here, and it is a bit complicated in coffee and indeed in many other commodities as well. We have, first of all, a global benchmark price, or the futures market. Now, they've written here New York because Arabica coffees are priced off of the ICE US contract, which is traded in New York City. So that's referred to colloquially as the New York futures contract. So this is the New York price here. Robustas are traded against ICE Europe, traded in London, so that's referred to as the London futures. So here we can see the global benchmark price is $3.70 per pound, or $370 per 100 pounds. Now, the futures market is a volatile price. So this price is going to be moving around and changing, as opposed to the specific price of that coffee that you are looking at purchasing. That is a lot more stable, and it is specific to that coffee. However, this is where it gets a bit complicated. If you're buying coffee that's priced differentially, then the actual price that you're paying is the summation of these two parts. So you're going to be taking whatever the global futures market price is, you're going to be adding this differential to it, and that will be a flat price. Now, some offer sheets include flat priced coffees, which means that they don't worry about the futures market, they don't worry about the differential at all, they're just quoting you a flat price. Now, that's fine, except that when the futures market goes down, that flat priced coffee is going to look expensive, and when the futures market goes up, that flat priced coffee is going to look cheap. So here, what they're doing by offering you a differential, they're letting you plan on the differential part, but the futures market portion of the price is going to be floating. That's going to be dependent on whatever that global benchmark is doing. So to give you an indication of what that price might look like, they're saying on January 1st here, the futures market price was $370 per 100 pounds, and therefore your total price would be on that day $440 per 100 pounds, right? So $70 per 100 pounds plus the futures market price of $370 is $440. Now, if you call them up on January 20th and the futures price has risen to 390 at that point. Now you're no longer going to be paying 440. Now you're going to be paying 390 plus that differential of 70 is 460. All right, everybody, that's our video for this week. Hopefully that has been helpful and useful to you. Thank you to our friends at Copan for providing the offer sheet and suggesting this video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to chat with you. You can reach us at our website, www.coffeetradingacademy.com.